Good day, everyone. This is our movie study case project, and our movie is Mother Gangsa 3 Europe Most Wanted. And our group name is Among Us because Mother Gangsa 3 is with animal theme cartoon movie. So our group name also based on an animal name. So this presentation is presented by Ted Zilong, Patrick Tan Zilong, Alex Liu Tong, and Ng Sishen. So let's quickly jump to it.
My name is Patrick and I would like to talk about the intro of this movie. Madagascar 3 Europe Most Wanted is a movie with animals as protagonists. This film followed them from wanting to go back to the New York City Central Park Zoo to deciding to perform with the circus. The four characters that we are choosing are firstly Alex, and his voice actor is Ben Stiller. Alex is a very energetic African lion and he is a leader in the team. Secondly, Marty, and his voice actor is Chris Rock. He's an enthusiastic zebra and always willing for a great adventure with his pals. Thirdly, Mailman, and his voice actor is David Schwimmer. He's a very nice giraffe and loyal to his friends. And lastly, Chantal Dubois, and and her voice actor is Frances McDormand. She is a cool, calculating woman, and she was dark in her way. Due to some characters have not much description in this movie, so we have added some information to the movie Madagascar and Madagascar Escape to Africa to complete the character description.
Following the events of the last film, Madagascar 2, the Penguin skipper Kowalski, Rico, and Private, as well as the chimps Mason and Phil, boarded their modified aircraft and fly to Monte Carlo. When they do not return, Alex the lion urges his companions, Marty the zebra, Melman the giraffe, and Gloria the hippopotamus to go search for them and bring them back to their home in the Central Park Zoo in New York City. They track down the penguins and chimps in the Monte Carlo casino with the help of their Madagascar Lemur friends, King Julien, Maurice, and Maud. Chaos follows as the animals barely manage to evade Chantal Dubois, a cruel animal control officer hell-bent on adding Alex's head to her taxidermy collection. The animals join a departing circus train after their aircraft crashes. Because of the circus animals, Stefano the sea lion, Gaia the jaguar, and Vitaly the tiger are suspicious of strangers. Alex claimed that they are American circus animals. The circus is on its way to Rome, followed by a performance in London where they aim to impress an American promoter and get their first American tour. To ease suspicion, the penguins acquire the circus from the ringmaster's human counterpart. Alex falls in love with Gaia in Rome, while Julien falls in love with Sonia, a performing bear. The boys chases Julien and Sonia but is unsuccessful in appending them, and was arrested. The performance in Rome's Colosseum is a disaster. The animals' acts go astray, and the crowd chases them out. Stefano informs Alex that the circus was once renowned, with Vitaly as its star expertly leaping through ever tinier hoops. He attempted to leap through a blazing ring-sized hoop one day, but the olive oil he was using as lubrication caught fire. Vitaly's enthusiasm was extinguished as a consequence of the disaster, and the whole circus suffered as a result. Alex persuades the circus animals to devise a fresh and thrilling all-animal performance that will rehabilitate them to their former glory. Marty and Stefano discover a new interest in being blasted out of a cannon, while Merman and Gloria master tightrope dancing. Gaia convinced Alex to teach her trapeze americano, and the two develop feelings for one another. The boys, in the meantime, escapes jail and continues her chase. Vitali is frightened of failing again in London and is on the verge of fleeing, but Alex helps him rediscover his enthusiasm for achieving the impossible. Vitali lubricates himself with hair conditioner and Alex's instruction and successfully jumps through the hoop from years ago. The concert was a huge hit and the promoter contracts the circus. The Boys appears and despite the Penguin's effort to stop her, the document she was carrying exposes that Alex and his buddies were always zoo animals. The circus animals feeling misled and used, remove the quartet. Following an altercation between Julian and Sonia, the zoo and circus animals split but eventually meet in Central Park. When the zoo animals return to their former home, they see how much their travels have changed them and determine that their true home is with the circus. They are then attacked by the Boys, but before she can behead Alex, the zoo staff arrives, believing her to be recovering the lost animals. Julian returns to the circus with the news, and Gaia and Vitali persuade the others to assist in the rescue. Animals in the zoo reawaken in their former cages, which are now encircled by thick gates. The Boys is honored by the zoo employees but secretly packs a poison dart and targets Alex. They are quickly saved by circus animals who assist them in defeating the Boys. Alex and his pals join the circus permanently while the Penguin send the Boys and her men to Madagascar in boxes, reminiscent of the first movie Madagascar 1.
By looking at the characteristics of the characters, we make a comparison between the characters. So the first one is Alex. Alex's birth name is Alake. The name Alex was given to him after he arrived in New York City. He is also the overall main protagonist in the Madagascar franchise. He is an African lion that was raised for a short time in an African wildlife reserve, before being caught by the poachers and end up falling out of the poacher's truck, after that floating to New York City. New York City is where he was sent to Central Park Zoo and become one of the most popular exhibits in the zoo. Alex is also very energetic. He is able to raise morale to everybody around him and perform good leadership skills to lead a complete circus. Next one is Marty. Marty is the deuteragonist of Madagascar franchise. He is a zebra who formerly lived in the Central Park Zoo and he is also Alex's best friend. In Madagascar 3, it is a story after his friends and he runs away from Central Park Zoo. Marty is very brave and does not fear anything. He is also enthusiastic and always willing for a great adventure with his power. So by moving on to Melman. Melman is a lovely guy who is devoted to his friends, but he is hypochondriac who has pharmaceutical dosage for meals and regular doctor appointments. He apparently loved Gloria since childhood but has always been too afraid to tell her since it would damage their friendship and most likely lead to a breakup. After he tells Gloria why he loves her, she reciprocates his sentiments and becomes less neurotic in Africa. So next one is Dubois. Dubois is the main antagonist in Madagascar 3. Dubois is a middle-40 French lady who works as an animal control city in New York City. She likes to display her taxidermy collection as her successful achievement in animal capturing of the world. And so in the movie, she still left one taxidermy collection in an achievement, and that is the king of the beasts, Lionhead.
Now I would like to talk about the individual behavior, personality, and values. Firstly, Alex. He is an energetic lion, and he is wise and smart. Besides, he is also good in leadership to lead the team. Next is Marty. He is enthusiastic in anything. He is also bravery and value friendship, especially his best friend, Alex. And thirdly, Mailman. He is loyal with with friends, and his responsibility to take care of all of his friends, especially his girlfriend, Gloria. And lastly, Chantal Dubois. He is fearful, aggressive, and many attitude woman. Next, position of self and others in the organization. First, Alex have a good self-understanding about his ability, advantage, and disadvantage. He is also a good leader to lead the team well. Position of others. His friends trust him and consider him as the leader. Secondly, Marty. Marty loves adventures and he also considers himself different from other zebra. Position of others think he is adventurous, brave, and also value friendship. When his friends are in danger, he will save his friend without hesitate. Norman is awesome the role of a daughter. His ability is found in Africa in the movie Madagascar Escape to Africa. Perception of others also think he is a daughter. Lastly, Chantal Dubois is a cute tendency toward animals. She loves to care animals and make it specimen for her collection. Perception of others, she is very concerned toward subordinate, but for animal, she is animal nemesis. Workplace, emotion, attitudes, and stress. First, workplace. The story of Madagascar 3 takes place in Paris. At the time, they decide to go back to the Central Park Zoo. Then they get catched by the Dubois, so they escape onto a circus train. On the train, they know that the train is going to perform in Rome and London. Consequently, they follow the circus to Rome and London. Finally, the circus arrived in New York City, and the circus people found that Alex's group was aiming to get off in the New York City. After that, they get catched by the Dubois. When they awaken, Alex, along with Marty, Wellman, and Gloria, is back in their enclosure at the zoo. When Alex's life is in danger, the circus arrive and rescue them from the dangerous zoo. Finally, they decide to join the circus permanently, with all the animals of the circus reunited. All of them are happily proceeding with their American tour. Emotion, attitude, and stress. Alex feeling sad and carrying Stephanie after they knowing Victory abandoned performance because have been injured before. He tried to convince Vitaly. Finally, he successfully persuaded Vitaly to perform. And then they have done a perfect show in London. Secondly, Marty. Marty is an enthusiastic and optimistic person. He can have a fun even in a dangerous situation. The part of the movie that I most like is Marty volunteered to drive car and he opened the music to create atmosphere. When Dubois is chased out their car, he still can have a jogging with Dubois.
ETA to rendezvous point.
2 minutes, 37 seconds, sir.
Man your battle station. Hey, wait! Nobody's at the wheel! Get back there! Blaming him on the driver! There's no driver! Don't just sit there, fancy pants. Grab the wheel. Are you kidding? I don't drive. I'm a New Yorker. Move over, Miss Daisy. What are you doing? Zebras can't drive. Only penguins and people can drive. What do all these buttons do? Nice one, Stripes.
Crazy woman gaining!
Our Omega-3 slick will take him down. Private, activate. He's good. Kowalski, intel.
Sir, we have a serious problem. Capitan Chantal Dubois, Monaco Animal Control. Perfect case record.
Whoa, you're Suckio, Andretti!
Stop backseat driving!
I'm passenger seat driving and I want the wheel. Give me the wheel!
It's not a wheel, it's my baby!
The hooves aren't meant to be on the wheel!
Hey, it's too late for you to
Don't
drive!
look at me! Don't look at me when we argue! Look at the road!
Be cool! Hi, officer. Is there a problem?
Hi.
Mailman. Mailman was feeling nervous when he wanted to dance with his girlfriend, Gloria. He's stressed because he is not a good dancer, but finally, they found out the performance that really suits for them. And lastly, Chantal Dubois. She is feeling excited when her mission was to arrest the zoo animals, especially the lion Alex. In the movie, sometimes she feels distressed and frustrated because of penguins always interrupt her plan to hunt Alex and other animals.
Alex has motivation which drives him to bond in the movies, as he can also encourage others with optimistic approach. Alex feels sorry for Stefano when he sees him weeping because Vitaly does not want to undertake the firing stunt. Alex assures Stefano that he will be with him every step of the way. Furthermore, when Alex saw Vitaly did not want to undertake the stunt, he attempted to persuade him. Alex encouraged Vitaly by noting that his friends haven't given up on him, even though he has. Alex emphasized that everyone must work together to keep the circus going. Vitaly successfully completes the firing leap after being inspired by Alex. Let's moving on to Marty. Marty is intrinsically motivated, which means that his activities are not motivated by a desire for reward or benefit, but rather by his inner ideas. For example, when he noticed Stefano in danger, he follows his heart and propels himself with the cannonball to rescue Stefano. Carry on to Merman. Merman is driven to bond because he wants to protect his family and loved ones, particularly Gloria. When the watering hole runs dry, Merman offers himself as a sacrifice to the sky gods, believing that his sacrifice will replenish the watering hole. Moreover, when Marty comes and informs them of Alex's situation, Marty and the others rush upriver to help him. Lastly is the boys. The boys' motive has been defined as a desire to gain. She wants to kill a lion and get its head as the last component of a taxidermy collection, but she has yet to come across the opportunity. Alex, the main character, is also a lion, which, when she got information through a phone that a lion had escaped in the city, she immediately assembled her colleagues and raced to the scene. The boy's drive is unshakable because of his or her great motivation. Despite the fact that she already knew Alex and the other animals were the missing Central Park Zoo animals, she practically pursued them from country to country in order to find them for her taxidermy collection. She will go to any length to get Alex's head. Next would be decision making and creativity. Alex and his friends sought to rescue Stefano at the conclusion of the film, since Stefano had been captured by the boys. After observing these circumstances, Alex took a swift choice to help Stefano by asking Marty, Gia, Frankie, and Jonassy to accompany him. First, Maud grabs the pistol and flees. After Alex had rescued Stefano, he requested Gia to look after him when he went to fight the boys. Alex is intelligent in considering what will be required to prevail in these circumstances. Alex is also a creative lion. He had an idea for Vitaly after convincing him to leap through the little ring fire. She advises Vitaly to use the conditioners as a safer lubricant before attempting to leap into the little fire ring. Finally, Vitaly has completed the performance. In the preceding scenario, Alex demonstrated a decent degree of creativity. Next will be Marty. When confronted with an issue, Marty was always the first to attempt to fix it. He will sometimes offer to take on an issue even though he is not the best person for the task. He usually thinks before acting. Perhaps he will be able to make a choice in short amount of time. The only part in this film that makes me believe Marty is creative is when he puts the colorful wig on his body to disguise himself as a circus horse. Next will be Merman. When the water well runs dry and King Julian decides to sacrifice an animal to the sky gods, which is the same situation as the previous motivation topic, Gloria pursues him and tries to reason with him while he is being carried. Merman expresses his feelings for her by revealing that it was never the doctors or the medicine that kept him going or made him happy back at the zoo. It was the possibility of seeing her every day that kept him going and made him happy. Merman's choice is utilitarian in the sense that it helps the majority of the animals. Merman is prepared to give up his life for the greater good, indicating that he understands the larger picture. Lastly will be the boys. When the boys encounters animals, she will always act before thinking, grabbing everything necessary and around in order to get closer to them. In Rome, when she meets the circus bear Sonia at the ringtail Lemur, King Julian by chance on the streets, she only wants to fire an anesthetic dart at them, but they are out of range. As a result, she attempts to take the Rome police officer's motorcycle, but fails and falls into a nearby fountain. Police in Rome apprehended her and took her to jail. She successfully escaped from jail and outwitted the cops. It's all down to her creativity and the ideas she devised. As shown by her deeds, Tobias is a clever and insane commander. But when she saw the beast, the only thing that left within her is insanity and the ability to make snap judgments.
My name is Ted Zilong. Now we will jump into a team process in the organization, and the first chapter is the team dynamic and communication. Alex always be the leader of the team to bring more motivation to the team, take the initiative to voice out his idea and plan on what they are going to do, solve the problem by communicating with Marty, Melman, Gloria and the elders. For example, Alex explains all the steps to his plan and communicates about all the ways to get the penguin back. And Marty would often get arguments with Alex when he was working on a team. For example, Alex decides to drop down and catch the penguin from the ceiling. He asks Marty to crank him up. Then Marty wants to do the Alex job, but Marty rejects him because Marty has no finger. Then the two of them started arguing. And next is the mailman. He often does things in team with Gloria, Alex and his friend. For example, when he realized Marty is missing the first thing he does is to inform his friend Alex instead of finding Marty by himself alone. But most of the time, he just follows his friend idea and agree to it. And we came to the dubious heart. I have a movie clip where the show is located at the final battle. So let's enjoy it.
Die! Die! Die!
Let's rock.
You and me, baby!
From the movie clip I just showed to you guys, that we always see the dubious subordinates will be the knockdown first before dubious. So I assume that the biggest failure factor of capturing Alex and the other animal is their lack of communications. Dubious can warn them, but that she didn't, and just dodged the elephant and let her teammate knock down. In the team dynamic, there are non-discrimination, bully, bad contingency environment occur in their team, and they have a normal cohesion team. And we now came to the power of influence in workplace. Alex had shown reference power while they tried to rescue Stefano from Dubois' hands. Under Alex's lead, his friends trust him and collaborate with him in order to save Stefano. Alex has shown information control under the types of influence, as he has the right to distribute the useful information to his teammate and the others. And next is the Marty. The power of Marty in the team just behind Alex. Although he sometimes does some unreasonable things, it is precisely because of his brave and straightforward character that what he does and what he says are coincidence. For example, Marty is often the one who can make the quickest judgment and even cooperate with Alex to rescue Stefano and take Dubious down in the late stage of the movie. And next is the Mailman. Mailman does not have much power, since he is kind of mentally ill, as he also often thinks that he is sick, which clearly he isn't. Mailman also has a certain degree of influence among his friends, has shown persuasion under type of influence, as he is able to convince his friend. And lastly is the Dubois. Dubois has the most power among her team, had shown expert power that he showed her competence of capturing wildlife animals, since he had always kept the perfect success rate in this expertise. Her subordinates will believe Captain Dubious' past experience will guide them to make the right decision when it comes to capturing the wildlife animal. And next we go to the conflict and negotiation in work. Alex has arguments and conflict with others because some of them may disagree with Alex and eventually lead to a quarrel. For example, Alex and Vitaly have a conflict. Before that, Vitaly doesn't want to jump through the little fire ring, and Alex is quite mad and has a little fight between them. And next to the is Marty. Marty often get into argument with Alex almost every time an important decision is made, and the main reason is Marty wanted to do that job. As the example that we have mentioned above at the team dynamic and communication, Marty argued with Alex because he wants to be the person who drops down and catch the penguins. Marty's negotiation method is to insist on not giving up easily until others give up. Next we look at the Mailman. Mailman was not always the best when it comes to conflict and negotiation. Mailman handles conflict well and is able to negotiate with others to do the right thing sometimes. For example, Mailman is able to convince Gloria to let him go when he decided to sacrifice himself to the Sky God in Madagascar 2, which used his logic, facts and emotion to negotiate with Gloria. And lastly is the Dubious. Honestly, there is no conflict and negotiation in the team of Dubious and her subordinate in this movie, because her subordinates are devoted to her and will obey and listen to her without question or complaint. I will pass to the next guy.
By looking at the leadership skills of the character in the movie, Alex always has the ability to lead a team to achieve the desired outcome, no matter which episode of the Madagascar movie. He has good leadership skills, especially in the third film. He managed to lead a complete circus, and under his leadership, everyone performs a very amazing and wonderful show in the circus. Alex even thought of every situation which might happen and prepared everything to deal with the problems. Moreover, Alex has shown leadership skills while they are running to get inside the train to avoid being caught by Du Bois. He helped Stefano to get into the train first and make sure everyone is in on the train. Not only that, they have successfully defeated Du Bois under Alex's lead. Alex has performed most of the characteristics which a qualified leader should have. So moving on to Marty. Even though Marty is not a leader of the team, and he usually do by his own, but he did provide some ideas and volunteer to do something in some certain situation. Now moving on to Melman. And Melman is willing to sacrifice himself for the right thing, and this proves that Melman is suitable to be the leader, as he got what it takes to do the right things, no matter the cost. The decision that Melman made about sacrificing himself is utilitarian, as it benefits the majority of animals. A good leader should be able to make decisions that maximize happiness where it affects the majority positively. So next one is Du Bois. And Du Bois is the captain of animal control. And she always captures wildlife animals with her subordinates. But the thing is, the gap of the competence between Captain Du Bois and her subordinate is too large, and this caused all of the subordinates to be knocked down first and let Du Bois' captain fight alone. And Du Bois also did not make any decision and intends to improve the whole team battle power. Employee has no clear expectation from the leader. So this proves that Du Bois has poor leadership that does not care about the safety of his follower at all times. By looking at the organization culture of the characters, Alex's attention to details. He is precise and also analytic in many scenes of the movie. When Alex and his friends are on the way to get the penguins back, Alex plans and analyzes all the steps which need to be done in order to get the penguins. He analyzed everything around the casino and made the best decision to reach their goals. Next, the organizational culture dimension which Alex showed are team orientation. He collaborated with his friends when they were being chased by the boys. Alex collaborates with Marty and others while they want to save Stefano from the boys' hand. With the help of his friends, they finally defeat the boys, and Alex also successfully managed the complete circus. It would be very difficult for Alex to defeat Du Bois and rescue Stefano on his own without the help of his friend. Next is Marty. Marty is innovation. And this dimension characteristic including experimenting, risk-taking, and low cautiousness. And Marty is very adventurous. He always does something that risk-taking, like driving the cars even though that is his first time driving. And not only that, when Stefano is in the danger, he shot himself up with the cannonball to save Stefano without hesitation. It also proved his adventurous spirit and love of adventures. Moreover, Marty is also will not trapped by the rules because of his curiosity and adventurous spirit. And the last dimension characteristic of Marty is low cautiousness. In time of crisis, he also often lacks prudence. For example, when they get chased by Du Bois while Marty is driving the cars, he still can have fun in that situation. So by moving on to Melman, the organization culture dimension that Melman showed in the movie is respect for peoples. When Melman realized that once a giraffe being sick, there is no way to survive. So he decided to take the position as doctor and introduce other animals to the miracle of modern medicine to cure sick animals. Melman received constant medical treatment for his sickness. He thought that it would be only fair if the others also received the same treatment as him. So he decided to be a doctor and help out other sick animals. And next, the dimension would be the team orientation. When Melman realized that Marty went missing from zoo, the first thing Melman does is to inform Alex about Marty instead of going to find Marty alone. After that, Melman and his friend broke up of the zoo to find Marty. Moving on to Du Bois. Du Bois is the animal control and there is only one goal, which is to capture the wildlife animals that brought into the citizen area. The organizational cultural dimension that Du Bois shows in this movie is innovative. Du Bois and subordinates are so risk-taking that they chase down Alex and other animals using their department motorbike on the street of Monaco with high speed because Du Bois wants to hunt down Alex and add him to her taxidermy collection. Du Bois and her subordinates also seize opportunity in order to hunt down Alex and other animals. Du Bois and subordinates also follow Alex, Marty, Gloria, Melman, and King Julian secretly from London to New York. By looking at the organizational change management, we can see that Alex is the leader in his team. He is the most important person in his team, and without him, the team will not be able to deal with the problems in the first place. Alex is able to make a quick and wise decision in the pinch to let the team deal well with the problems. And when Alex and his friend first join the circus and meet new friends, they may take some time to get used to the new organization, but they treat every animal in the circus like brother and sister. Even in the new organization, Alex is fair to everyone and gives cares to those who are in need. And next, moving on to Marty. Even though Marty is not a leader in the group, but he plays an important role in the team that cannot be replaced. He is always be able to make choice in the tense moment, although his main purpose is just to have fun. On the other hand, to escape the Du Bois chasing, Marty and his friends sneak into the circus train. In order to get back to New York City, they can only choose to temporarily join the circus. Marty also integrates into the new organization quickly. So next is Melman. Melman, who is not a leader in his group, he just follows the team with no objection and does not show any restraining force. Furthermore, he took some time to get used to the sudden change in the organization, but he still sees the change positively. And moving on to Du Bois. Du Bois and her subordinate are from animal control. And in this movie, we did not see any changes in the organization, but we assume that even if there is a change in the Du Bois and her subordinate organization, they will not show any objection and does not show any restraining force since they are professional animal control. And her subordinate are rarely assertive in their speech and action, so we trust that they will accept the change with modesty.
I will now jump into the conclusion, and our main protagonist, Alex, he is a kind, friendly, caring and loving person, and he treats everyone like brother and sister, including the friends which he meets at the circus. As a leader in the group, he shows his bravery, wisdom and good leadership skill to deal with the problem in the first place. And her success factor is his good leadership skill, which finally defeat Dobios and even managed to lead a complete circus. Next is the Marty. Marty is an optimistic person who can always have fun even though in the dangerous situation. Besides, Marty loves adventure and often does the unexpected, but there are occasional surprises. We should learn optimistic from Marty. And next is the Mailman. Mailman is a really good person who is loyal to his friend, but he is a bit of hypochondriac, routinely taking medication with meals and scheduling doctor visit. Although Mailman is not the leader in the group, still he behaves like one, such as he sees the bigger picture of the situation, and sometimes he does make hard decisions like how a leader should. Mailman also works well in groups as he is a good follower. And finally is our antagonist, Dubious, in our movie. She is a fearful, aggressive and manic person who wants to chop off the lion head to complete her taxidermic collection. She has incredible insight and creativity to track down her target, and the problem is she has lacked leadership and always ends up with injured subordinates following her action. Her failure factor in hunting down Alex and their friend will be her lack of communication with her subordinates and short decision making when she sees the animals. The only value we can learn from Dubious is her perseverance of not giving up or hunting down Alex and other animals. Before the video ends, I like to brief about the Madagascar tree. We choose the Madagascar tree because this is our childhood cartoon movie, and in order to do the project, I also rewatched the Madagascar tree to find the report material. So when I rewatch the Madagascar, I feel very nostalgic because it feels like I regain my lost memory from my childhood. I also now get every punchline of the every joke because I now fully understand what they are talking. Not like when I was child, I don't really get what they mean. And the joke in the Madagascar still make me laugh, although I already 20 years old. So I very recommend you guys to watch the Madagascar lah. So the best way to watch the Madagascar, the order watch list is Madagascar 1, Madagascar 2 and Madagascar 3. Overall, Madagascar is a good comedy cartoon movie. Thank you for your time.